The Thomas John Family Poem by Rosella J. Smith. Come, brothers and sisters, come gather near. Let's do some reminiscing of some memories so dear. Hear William and Charles and Levi and James and Anne and Letitia and Henry and Mary Jane. Do you remember when Father first accepted the gospel true? So undecided, till he studied and prayed, till he knew what to do? Up to then we were respected, and were doing financially well. As an efficient shoemaker, Father did greatly excel. Father was known for his shoes, and his business grew fast, so he taught William and Charles to cut and sew, and use the last. But because we accepted the gospel and chose to serve the Lord, we lost our friends and business. The going, I tell you, was hard. We were beaten on the school grounds. Stones were thrown at our windows and doors. Our business was ended completely. Our hearts were cut to the cores. We were forced to move to another town and start all over again. We worked and saved every dollar to sail to Zion mid friends. 'Twas an awful blow to our family to be persecuted for doing right, but we held our heads up high and worked with all our might. Do you remember when we left our old home? Many tears were shed that day, as Sister Phoebe was married, so in Wales with her husband she stayed. 'Twas the New York Manchester we sailed on, and a very old ship it was. It sank soon after we arrived. We were saved for a worthy cause. We still had trials and hardships, for we were Mormons, you see, and Mormons were treated badly, just for being what they ought to be. While traveling on a train in Missouri, our baggage containing all we possessed was burned, not by accident, but was carefully planned, so we guessed. It was all tied up in a carpet, no fancy luggage had we. It was clothes and shoemaking tools, and some thread we needed badly. Yes, all we owned was tied up in that carpet, but as we tearfully salvaged the remains, we fortunately saved a few balls of thread so we could go on making shoes again. Through sweat and tears and heartache and pain, we reached Zion in grand old Salt Lake. It required stout hearts with courage and faith. 'Twas more than the average could take. I remember Mary Jane was very sick, and Mother carried her much of the way. Each night as we looked at our darling, we wondered if she'd last one more day. While traveling on the prairie, we boys had lots of fun. At night we laid and watched the stars, but in the morning we were up with the sun. We enjoyed all nature as we traveled along. With the wind in our hair, on our lips was a song. Even we children, who were very small, had work to do. There were jobs for us all. We gathered wild berries along the way that we might eat at the end of the day. We gathered sticks to build the fire. We were happy and gay. It seems we'd never tire. William and Charles took a job herding sheep. Their ability in this job was hard to beat. They learned the art in Wales, years gone by. They had a cure for all ills. Their sheep didn't die. I remember going to Wellsville then, with other families, and our family of 10. We were met there by a Bishop Morgan. He helped us get established, that we might carry on. I remember well this Bishop Morgan. His home was open to everyone. He took us into his place to eat, then out to some old friends we wanted to meet. We moved to Portage in 1867. This was our last move, but it seemed more like heaven. Father took a homestead in North Portage, I recall. He took enough land that it could be divided for all. Father settled in the center, and we children settled round. No greater love of father and sons, I'm sure, could ever be found. We built our homes and planted crops, and blessed this bit of ground. And since on this land Father settled, and his family built homes all around, it took on a most appropriate name, for it was and is Johnstown. We respected one another. We worked for the interest of all. We helped each other plant in the springtime. and helped harvest in the fall. We had an interest in our families and tried to bring them up right. Now, through the years, our posterity has grown, and it gives us delight. And now I look out over Portage and see vast improvements are made, but gone are those brave souls who built it, so sturdy, courageous, and unafraid. Gone are the horse and buggy, gone are those muddy streets, gone is the log church and schoolhouse, where all the good folks used to meet. Gone are the beards and mustaches, the bustles and high-button shoes, gone the old-fashioned candy pulls, the best amusement we knew. But it's a joy to me that one thing's the same. It's the love for the gospel for which we came. So members of this great family, remember Margaret and Thomas John. Keep their names sacred in your home, and may their memory live on and on. William married Sarah Ashton and Mary Landon. Charles, the three Williams girls, Edith, Agnes, and Elizabeth. Mary Ann married a schoolteacher. His name was Edward Smith. James married Hannah Abbott, Mary James and Emily Minton. Levi, Mary Hall, and Ellen Green. Henry married Margaret Reese, one of the finest women I've seen. Letitia married William H. Gibbs and raised a lovely family. Mary Jane, who was just a frail child, became Mrs. Joseph Brigham Hockley.